Greetings, my name is Slight, and I suggest you get comfortable. We are going to be playing a OverExplain on Vanessa. I just clicked start here and then had to pop back out really quick. So let's do it. My goal is to go nice, steady, and slow, think about and explain all the decisions I'm making and why I'm making them in an effort to kind of maybe impart the finer details of each of these decisions that I'm making and why they may coalesce into a effective run or not. That being said, as usual, sometimes we make great decisions and we still fall short of the mark. And in that case, it will still be something that we can learn from. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we have not the best options here. My last run actually was Lanxian, and I went 10 wins with a Lanxian build. The big thing that I'm thinking about here when making my decision is how much can I rely on this item to actually carry me through maybe 1 or 2 fights? Does this item scale? Or is this item a critical piece of a build? So Harpoon is a sort of niche meta item against Dooley, needs ammo to be really effective, needs to be upgraded to be effective, but it does sell for 4, so it has that going for it. Ambergris is actually not too bad here. I would say this is probably my second pick. The idea here is I'm going to naturally be getting aquatic items throughout the game, and this is essentially like an economy item that I get for free. That being said, I would need to be a little scrappy and get a little lucky and find some things that I could actually use in the first day. Grenade is something that I think is a great item. The 25 crit chance and its high damage, and the fact that it's small means that it really packs a punch for what it is, but it has that ammo problem, and so it's really unreliable. Now, we may not actually end up in a Lanxian build here, but I do think it's the best pick. Even if we end up not using the Lanxian, we can sell it for 4, whereas these ones, or at least the Grenade for sure, wouldn't be able to sell for 4. All right. First pick here, small aquatic item, Strange Mushroom, which can be a skill, money, or experience, or Kina, which sells non-weapon items. Now, the things that I am really looking to do are win, if I want to keep this Lanxian, is to win early fights, because I need to get that scaling going. The ways that I can accomplish this are rather varied, but I'd want to be aggressive. I want to make choices that are opportunistic and serve to improve my ability right now. One of the ways to do that is to force a early level up. So if I was playing more for the late game, I might go for a Strange Mushroom and pick the skill, because maybe I have a starting item that I think is going to get me, stronger later. But here, I think the most important thing for us to do is to make the move that is going to be the best by the time we hit the end of the day. And I think that move, on average, is actually taking experience. Because if I can get 2 experiences before the first day, I have a significant advantage. Kyver Drone has a bronze Lanxian himself. Banana Ball has the duct tape. That's not bad, but it's really not good for us because our cooldown is so long. So we're going to go with Kyver Drone here. Another reason to go for Kyver Drone is that it has Insect Wing, Eagle Talisman, and then it has Lanxian, which can be sold for more money than most of the early fights. But kind of 2 of these options are good, and 1 of these options is fine. And that is probably the best case scenario for us. I probably go to Kyver Drone relatively often. you know, as far as early fights. Mostly because that 5% crit, that 3% cooldown, you know, in a one weapon build, that's hard to pass up a lot of the time. I mostly just don't want Stinger, but we'll see how it goes. Happy to get that. I'll save it for right now. Bronze tier skill, item, or small items. Happy to take small items here, looking to be aggressive. This is a pretty mid-small item. 10 damage over 6 seconds is less than 2 damage per second. It's very low. We're going to, normally, because I'm trying to play opportunistically, I'm going to reroll. Normally, I would not reroll, because it is not important to me to win the next fight. I can take this. I'll use that. Very, very weak items here. The 10 shield is not bad. It's 2 shield per second. We'll take it. Unfortunately, I think we get one extra shot. So I think here we're happy to take the monster loot. 2 silver tier monster loots. What do we get? That's quite effective. Yeah. Okay. So I was correct. We did get a little unlucky. We were not able to actually find the second experience. If we had gained another experience, then we would have another 100 health going into this fight, which on average is going to be better than most other options. That being said, we're in a position where it's going to be risky as to whether or not we can actually win this fight, which makes our Lynxian quite a bit worse. If we lose this fight, I'm almost out of a Lynxian build. That being said, he has a friend based core, which is pretty nice. I think we'll be able to do 3 shots before his flame gets high enough to really scare us, but it's tough to say. These rays are so strong, and he does have a silver one, so yeah, that is actually adding up to quite a bit. I think he's got me. Yep. Silver ray, very, very strong. And so, as you can see here, while I tried to push my opportunistic play as hard as I could, it wasn't enough for me to actually win that fight. And I am already in a position where I feel like I would like to pivot. That being said, we'll see how the rest of this plays out. Get a friend. Upgrade your leftmost bronze tier item. There is a case to be made for this honing steel. This pearl tends to be quite weak. I don't want any of the other ones, though. Friend is also nice because it could be gold. So I will click befriend. Perfectly happy with that. Nothing special. A poison item, weapons, or Monster Ranch. So I think I'm happy to just go Monster Ranch here. We'll take the 8, and we will get a return on our investment. So the small shield item here is fine, but in my mind, I cannot think of a small shield item that I want, besides maybe Nesting Doll. JJ is... I only really go to JJ if I really need to see as many items as possible, because his is very random. Now, the randomness can be a good thing, right? I don't have a defined build, and I'm looking to pivot away from Lynxian, because our scaling has already been messed up. And if you think about it, 50 damage, right, is essentially double this thing's health right now. And so that's a huge tempo loss, especially for the next couple days. You know, unless I get a lucky upgrade or something, like right now, or with my first level up, I don't think I can stick with Lynxian. So it's between the Lost Crate, which would allow me to get 2 gold and 1 experience, or getting an opportunity to pivot my build. My build isn't terrible. It's not good, and it's very unlikely to win at the end of the day in its current state, unless I get very lucky, which makes going for experience a little bit more spooky. So, all that being said, I think that JJ is unlikely to have something that's going to make a huge impact on us, but it does give us an opportunity to move. I'm going to take the tried and true 1 experience, 2 gold. And then I'm a little afraid of my ability to actually beat Covetous Thief. If I had an aquatic item, that would change. So I'm just going to take Coconut Crab. And the benefit of Coconut Crab is if I manage to get the Crusher Claw, then I can build around it. And most importantly here is I just need Lynxian to scale. If I'm going to go into the final round, I just can't risk losing to Covetous Thief there. It's unlikely that I'd lose. I think it'd be pretty close, but Covetous Thief actually scales up to where at the end, if you're not doing anything disruptive, he's doing 100 plus damage with his Concealed Dagger. And so that's why I took the guaranteed win here, which was, oh, look at that, exact lethal. You don't see that too often in the Bazaar.
Was that even a battle?
No, we didn't get lucky on that. Bronze tier skills are not going to be helpful, but Kev's Armory could have a Cove, and a Cove would be very strong right now. There's our Cove. Happy to see that. Coral Armor is something that is interesting, but I would need more of a build around to actually go for it. The Cove's great. And because we are in a position where we don't have much going on, I will go ahead and take this just as a way to improve my scaling. Alright, Silver tier is quite good. I could gain an extra experience, but because I'm going to gain an experience at the end of this hour anyway, I don't see a real high value in gaining more experience in the short term. That being said, there are quite a few things that I could get an upgrade for or find that would be a good item in my build. So let's click this button. Repeater is very good, but it needs you to have the right build for it. Coral Armor can be good, but it requires you to buy aquatic items, which can be quite limiting. And realistically, you kind of want gold as early as possible for this to be really valuable. Another concern with going for more heavy into shield is it's all well and good until you fight a dually who just poisons you, right? I think I can roll here, and I could still buy something that's 8 or something that's 12 if it's really good. Coral Armor's not bad, but I tend to lose when I play it, so I'm not going to take it. I don't think any of these are very good. Granted, I could buy an aquatic item just because it charges the pearl. And get rid of Honing Steel here. And I think the Piranha is going to be better. Alright. Upgrade leftmost bronze. Poison, experience, or income. Pet rock is really not too bad. That being said, another option here is to actually put the cove into play so that I have even more aquatic triggers for this pearl. That being said, I think upgrading my pet rock is just fine. And I do think it'll still be best for me to put this into play. We'll be playing against a dually. My chance of winning is very low.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
That's not terrible for us. He doesn't have any scaling. So as long as we are gaining shield here, I think we will win. So, and I think that because he has no scaling, because we have kind of this critical mass of shield, we're going to manage to squeak out a win against a dually, I think. Man, First Aiden is a great item.
Bravery without strength is a sword without a blade.
I don't want skills, mostly because no build that I would currently go would really need a skill. For example, if I was doing something like a one-weapon cutlass build, iron sharpens iron is very good to get early, and so it makes going to skills more valuable. I have $9 and a fair bit of collateral that I'd be willing to sell. We could take a treasure chest, which gives us a random item. I do think we're going to have some potential luck looking at medium items, though. Mostly because, on average... medium items tend to provide a pretty good value. I guess what I should say, I was not being very clear there, is that there are quite a few medium items that are worth taking. And we are looking for items that are worth taking. Well said. Curio. Curio is very good for us if we had money. But we do not have money. I don't want to take borrow. We'll go to Pip.
I may not be the most masterful trainer, but I must be the cheapest.
First time you poison, freeze. When you win a fight, gain 2. Or iron sharpens iron. I think we're good to take iron sharpens iron here. This guy's played his purpose. We'll do this.
Maybe I'm getting better at this.
Eccentric Etherite. I think they have around 800 health. No, it's 650. But their skill is extremely strong. Interesting that this does not actually tell me their health. I think they're going to be a little too strong for us. And we cannot afford to lose. I would not be opposed to a cutlass one-weapon build pivot here. No crits from our 2 adjacent to the sextant. What can you do? Alright. We tried our best. It wasn't enough. We got so far. I think I am happy to look at weapon skills here, mostly because we could, yes, get another iron sharpens iron and get that to silver. So when I buy a weapon, I increase that bonus by 3. Getting that done now is actually quite strong. In general, when I'm presented with this mountain pass option, I really like to escort the convoy. I think this is especially good with Lanxian, because if I get another win, this scales up even further. And we got to win a fight we know we can win because we just played it, and we get another shot at getting a fiery cutlass, so pretty happy about that. There we go. There we go. That crit is pretty sweet when it comes out. And this helps us level up. No pain, no gain is fine. It's better to take now than later. And I may actually elect to do that. An item with ammo is also nothing to scoff at, especially considering the fact that we actually don't have anything else to put on our board. Tough. I think the crit chance is actually worth taking. The problem is that it moves us further away from this iron sharpens iron. Granted, I mean, we're getting that bonus on Piranha right now, which is much more valuable than the Lanxian. But an extra 5% could mean that we win the next fight. I'll go with load up. Totally fine with that. Nothing special. But it does improve our iron sharpens iron. Keep that over there. 30%, 25%, and the Piranha is actually scaling up at least okay. We're playing against Oifo, who has the same amount of wins as we do. Let's see how it goes.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobody.
He's got some decent armor scaling with Wallace here and Combat Core. And the Pulse Rifle does decent damage. I think he's got us for sure. This next hit's going to be very hard to stop. That 4-second cooldown's very, very brutal. We probably needed a crit on Lanxian.
You should put it toward nobler use.
You know, and that crit chance that we could have taken might have been all the difference. So we're sitting on 20 gold. We have lost 2 out of our 3 fights. The chips are on the table. How will we get out of this mess? So max health, 100 health at this point in the game is kind of banging. That being said, yeah, hard to pass up. Don't complicate it. Don't complicate it. Gumballs is a bit too expensive. A small aquatic item doesn't fit with our build. So let's take a look at non-weapon items. Aha. So Crow's Nest is good and Star Chart is good. Happy to take this out. And this out for Crow's Nest. 50%. And Star Chart will help us when we go to the docks, which is coming up. I am happy to refresh here. Anytime I get an opportunity to take these 2 items, or specifically the powder flask, I'll take it just in case I find an item with ammo that I really need to use. The silencer is a little bit more suspicious. Mostly because right now we're really not building around that one weapon style yet. We probably eventually will, but maybe I can find a higher level silencer later. I'm going to leave it for now. Hydra Dude's not a tough fight. Bloodreef Raider has a silver Crow's Nest, not a bronze one, so we couldn't get an upgrade from him. I think we'll just take Hydro Dude. Now, if I was playing a little smarter, I would have removed my Honing Steel here, because that triggers slows, which actually adds to his damage. We lost a 50-50 there. Lost a 50-50 there. Alright, we got one. Let's see that crit. Nice. Those crits are very important. 45. Alright. I think we got him. Oh, no, we don't. It's so close. Tough. Tough. Another tough outcome. Especially because we lose more power on our Lanxian here. Tools. There are quite a few great tools that we could get. I don't need experience because I'm going to level up before I get to the next fight anyway.
I've got everything you need to do anything.
Interesting. I'll go ahead and take this.
Keener the blade, the quicker the
Docklines
fight.
I'd really love to see a higher level of before I took it. It would make a big difference. So I think I'm going to skip that. Ammo skills. Ammo skills can be good enough just to enable us to play an ammo ability or an ammo style. When you use an item with ammo, give it 5 crit. That's extremely strong, as is bullet. I do think I'll end up taking this.
Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
Two sharpening stones. That looks good. So I'm basically sacking this particular fight and hoping to find a powerful ammo item for the next day. And hopefully this guy's really strong, because then I would have lost anyway, right? Who knows? Maybe we'll win, but I doubt it. This looks pretty good. Once this companion core goes off, I think we're donezo. Yeah. Another tough thing is we haven't found any cooldown reduction for our Lanxian.
Like my crew says at the bar, another round.
Great. So, I'm in a good spot. I've got $7. I've got a lot of things that I'm happy to sell. And we've got Ayla here, which is exactly who we want to see. Nice. These are some good options. Including this Deadly Shark Claws is really not too bad. The double barrel's pretty good. I think I'll take that. I think I'll pass this trebuchet. Would have loved to see something silver. That would have made all the difference. But what can you do? Alright, so goodbye. Goodbye. Boom. Honing Steel won't work because we need to actually add ammo to this item. We need to take these out as well. And now let's go to... Ooh, that's pretty good. I'll take the health. Next up, I think we want to do Preening Duelist. I think he has at least a couple things that we would want. Preening Duelist. You can't... Right now, for whatever reason, all talk doesn't drop. But Gunpowder or Pistol Sword would both be very strong. So let's do Printing Duelist. Wow, no crits yet. The whole idea here is that it gives itself haste, which makes it a lot stronger. With our high health pool and the fact that this has lifesteal, yes, this is gaining crit from parting shot. That's right. So as long as I can actually continue to upgrade this damage, this will get very, very strong. That is a very strong pull. That is exactly why we went there. Gumballs, non-weapon items, or a small non-weapon item. We'll take non-weapon items.
No weapons? Leave
That's
the
great.
big bargain.
Granted, Crow's Nest becomes
Now
infinitely
this
less
will
useful as time
inspire
goes
the
on.
crew.
I'll take this. And that is actually pretty darn strong. I'll also take this ambergris as another way to gain economy. I know that honing steel is not going to stay in my build. Pet rock is not, and I'm only holding on to star chart for working at the docks. Now I'm going to level up before I get to my next fight, so there's nothing that in my mind that's telling me to go to Lost Crate. I don't need $3 because I could, in the worst case scenario, sell 4, 5, and then 15 for the right item. So I'm hoping for a dock lines here. Happy with the powder flask.
Queen of the blade.
Perfectly happy with that. I had just enough gold for that. There is some consideration here. If I had the money for fishing rod, I would buy it because I gained $2 on ambergris, and that makes up for me selling it. So it's once I would sell it, it's a net 0. Then anything it generates gains me whatever it generates plus 1 gold. It's actually a pretty good economy purchase, but I don't have the money for it. Weapon. Upgrade my leftmost silver item. So, I don't know why upgrade silver works like this, where it could hit your double barrel, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit my sextant.
Now this
Starting at
will
80 crit,
inspire the
basically
crew.
I'm just trying to get as much hasting going as possible. These items are pretty unvaluable. I'll put the Clamora in, probably because I'll have more haste than I need. But the chance of me winning this fight is not very high.
But if you insist, go ahead, underestimate me.
Especially if they have
This
any
is more
freeze.
fun.
You know, there is a lot to be said about, the fact that he does not have any lifesteal and I do. So we'll see how it goes. I should have 100% crit at this point and perma haste. So the tough thing is he does have that switchblade scaling, which might be enough for him to stay in the game. It is. It's plenty. Look at that cutlass
All
damage.
cannon, no ball.
Yeah, switchblade did a
Next
lot of
time,
work for him
boys,
right there.
Less blunder, more plunder.
Small items. Work at the docks. Get a slow item. We'll do small items.
Just taking the first step toward good taste.
None of those. Interesting. So one thing I could do temporarily is
Bury that last treasure.
I actually don't really need the crit from Sextant on this. Adjacent items have plus 30 crit. Oh, look at that. It took a second for it to update. I could put this switchblade on my double barrel to... basically, it's going to get crazy crit regardless because of parting shot. That means I need to keep Crow's Nest, though. I think I'll just go ahead and sell ambergris.
You're a smart one.
I think that's fine. Chocolate bars, small tool, sells items. Chocolate bars it is. Easy choice. Goodbye. Ooh, should have just put that on the board. Not a huge deal, but not ideal. We do lose our lifesteal, so that is something to consider, but we'll give this a shot, see how it goes. Interesting that this counts. No, never mind, it doesn't. There we go. Now that's 80%. Does the foreman have something we want? He does have crane. Dire, I almost never do dire mosquito. I think it has some weird stuff. Yeah, super useless. Super useless. An enclave weaver. Enclave Weeper. Has Vial of Blood and an extra experience. And I'm certain we could kill her. I don't think... Is Crane worth it? Is Crane the savior of this game? I don't think it is. But maybe it is. Still, we struggle to find a correct path. And at this point in the game, it becomes more important to think about the far future. Because if I'm going to come back to 4 or 7 wins, I need to have an item or combination that can scale to that. And maybe Crane is the answer. We'll give it a shot. Another thing is that when we use a tool, we actually gain crit. So very quickly here, we will really not need this crow's nest. So that worked out great. That's pretty strong.
Was that even a battle?
Forklift.
Maybe a skirmish.
This is not the same. But it is $12. Medium and large sells weapons. Let's look at some weapons. Sure.
I prefer action.
So, I think we can do this right here. Give this thing 30% crit. This has no crit currently. Yeah, that's a bit suspicious. I don't think we're quite there yet. I could play this out. Just to gain more haste triggers.
I fight alongside you.
Alright. Medium items. I think I'm okay clicking into medium items. There's a couple things that I think would be strong.
All about moderation.
I do like Star Chart here. Eventually, I don't think I'll need this Sextant. There's a lot of other ways to gain haste later. And then Star Chart actually becomes better because the cooldown is more important. It's one more... Oh, that's more haste triggers. I think we'll go ahead and sell this, though. Just so I can meet the 3 here. Interesting. Cannon. I do not think that that is worth it. No. All right. Sharpening stones are pretty good. And I think I'm happy with those. The reason I like sharpening stones is, A, they're pretty good with our build, but number 2 is that they give us more gold. I think we're in an okay position. If we're fighting against someone who isn't super strong, they do have the stun, so hopefully their crit stun hits over here. But they do have a strong build. And it looks like we managed to shoot twice and not crit on our first 2 shots with double barrel. So I guess when that happens, you just are in a very bad position. But that's the risk we're taking, because we're only starting at 50% crit chance. This can come out. This can go there. I still haven't sold this. Small and large items.
Back to business.
So Switchblade's out for sure. Cutlass is probably out. Let's call it. Grenade I'm just buying here so that I can upgrade Iron Sharpens Iron. That's great. Love to see cheap items here. Cheap weapons. I probably could have been doing a slightly better job of buying cheap weapons like that in the past. Gold tier items. It's conceivable I find something good. I could take the guaranteed free weapon here, which is going to give me extra damage on double barrel. Let's do that. Sure. All right. Now, obviously, going for Thug usually is a really good idea, because if you get Bonk, then you are in a very strong position. Shock Trooper's great, and he's a tough fight. I don't think I want anything from him. By the way, Plasma Rifle here is very strong. I think the best thing for us to go is Thug. Sergeant Suds is really only good if you have an item that is based on its value. Because Sergeant Suds has a skill that can improve that. I'd be very happy with Spices here. Improvised Bludgeon would be totally fine. Alright, we're doing an okay job of keeping our haste up. I think we got a little unlucky with where the haste went there for a second. Yeah, as you can see, we're even struggling against mid-tier opponents. PvE battles, so it's an indication of where our build's at. That's fine. We're getting into the later levels, and it is here that we may find our salvation. I think finding the item in the bazaar can be pretty risky. Small items is great. We're likely to find cheap small weapons like this that we can buy and then sell. I shouldn't have bought that Clamora, but that's okay. Tools here could be very good. Sextants and star charts are both tools. And the sextant, ooh, that is very strong. Happy to take this. We'll take this. Go like that. Starting with 100% crit chance. Don't need this anymore, but this is definitely coming out. And then, slows 2 items for 4. We will increase that with our improvised bludgeon. 2 items at 6. Very strong. Thank you very much, Orion. Three loot items. Why would I take loot over sharpening stones? Well, these can give me crit, and they can give me cooldown reduction. But is it better just to take the guaranteed damage? I think it is. We're still in a position where we can get away with being very weak to freeze. So he's got 1 4-second freeze. Oh, he's pretty strong. Hopefully his freeze does not hit our item. If it does, I do think we'll lose. Nice, we got him. So, we got our first win in a while. Luckily, we played against someone who's doing even worse than we were. It looks like they did not have a way to activate their freeze haste that I saw. I think we're happy to take a large item here.
You are amusing. Why so fight?
Sure.
Gold becomes goods. Then
I'll take that. And this port is actually quite interesting. It solves our need for powder flask and opens the door for a lot more options. This 50% crit isn't super useful. The lifesteal is undeniably useful. But I'm going to take this port and we're going to sit on it for a bit and see how it turns out. Temporary boost. Small items. I think small items are fine.
Never debase my wares by haggling.
Nesting doll. I do like nesting doll. Take this for sure. And this. And we'll take this to sit on it. Alright. Robo Bouncer. I think the only reason to take Joyful Jack is for his skill, Rapid Thaw. Robo Bouncer. When you use a weapon... I think I want that extra experience though. So let's take the hardest fight. That'll give me a total of 4 experience. Now, whether I'd taken this or the other, I knew I would have guaranteed the level up before the next fight. So, not too concerned. As we can see, Docklines is absolutely carrying me. It's fully slowing their entire board, and it's only at silver.
Pathetic. As spineless as a jellyfish.
It's a very interesting option. So, this would need to be next to a friend. Huh. It's actually not terrible. So, Curio could give me cooldown reduction, as well as a bunch of ways to gain a bunch of little items, which is quite strong. I think I'm going to go ahead and just decide. Oof, I cannot. That is a tough decision to make. That is a tough decision to make. Let's go into Curio first.
I got everything you need.
I got everything you need. Okay, well this is great. That's going to add another slow to our dock lines. Knee brace could be good if we can get something that we can actually use to sell it with. Or rather, to combine with it so that we can get the cooldown reduction. Pulse Rifle, you are interesting, aren't you? But you are 4 seconds. Sorry, man. Very close to using you. Alright, we'll do this. So now we're at 7 seconds there. We'll take the knee brace hesitantly. And we were rewarded for our decision. Boom. Boom. This can... Oh, wait. Yep, we're fine. This crit chance is only so useful. But I actually think it's good, because eventually we want to get rid of... I'll take this. One of the reasons I like Nesting Doll is to put all of the scrap that you get when you don't have any other options on it. I think that's what I want right there. Scrap. No pain, no gain. 3 loot items. We'll take this, like this. We'll get rid of that. I think we're going to be taking 3 loot items here. I don't think the scrap is going to be worth it. Although it very well could be, actually. It could make Nesting Doll a lot better. But let's take the risk on loot. Sweet. We got this. We got this. And we managed to get a cooldown reduction. Little unfortunate that we sold off the knee brace, but we had to make room. So I can take gold tier skills, or I could get a slow item. That slow item could be my upgraded dock lines. My dock lines is already doing very well. So let's try a gold tier skill. When you use an aquatic item, haste a weapon. When you crit, gain 5 crit. Okay. I have an abundance of crit currently. And I have plenty of haste. So, what is the thing that's going to make my crit scale the most? Because eventually I might want to use a swashbuckle. If I switch out for Swashbuckle, though, I will need haste, so I will take Crashing Waves.
Every coin goes back to our community. We's fixed.
I think I have a decent chance. It will depend on whether or not they can one-shot me. So let's see how it goes.
A legend on Pelago.
My dreams are too big for you to steal.
Okay, 5% crit chance. He's got quite a bit of healing going on. And a decent amount of burning, actually. He's perma-slowed. So now it's just the can I kill him in time game. I can. Alright, we're making our slow, steady comeback. Luckily, we've been able to fight against some people who are in similar positions and not who are ahead of the curve. And as long as I'm getting up to 4 wins, I really struggled through the early days to find success. That first Lanxian loss really put us behind. So, if I am able to get into a decent position, I'll be very happy. Trade health for power. The tough thing about trading health for power is that it adds crit. Is it time? That puts it at 55. This would go here, right? This would come out. This would go here. Or is it something like this? The tough thing is this has no extra damage. Interesting. It's not time yet. It may never be time. But it might, depending on what happens. Trade health for power. That adds crit to a weapon. It's kind of the best thing it does. It also can give you a lifesteal bow and an obsidian dagger. Well, see, the crit actually might be the thing that we need to actually move away from the double barrel.
Calling you.
Let's do it. Skills, items with ammo. So now if I move this away and switch this out, this has 100, still guaranteed crit. I think I still like this. Will this run out? Luckily, we can test this. Like so. We want skills, don't we? Sure.
Ooh, the keener the blade, the quicker the fight.
I think we want Pharaoh's Khan. The tough thing is we lose to one shot, don't we? So we will have to kill her before that happens. Nice. Okay, that worked out pretty good. This crashing waves is actually kind of helping. Aha, look at that. Look at that. Interesting. Energy potion. Okay, so our haste problems are solved. Right? I don't think we're ever going to use this sextant again. Get out of here. I don't think we're going to use this crow's nest again. Look at that. We are making crazy moves. 3 loot items. We haven't died yet, so we actually have plenty to work with. And now we are actually swimming in gold. Haste, slow. Whenever you haste or use a weapon, use this. Okay. Is that good? It feels pretty good. I think this is good because it can charge this, right? Okay. And then I think the move is to take the temporary boost here, mostly because I want these throwing knives to do some substantial amount of damage. And this is essentially 75 damage per tick. And let's see how this goes.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Alright, he's got a very strong Adelo. It's going to be pretty hard to beat this. Yeah, he's very high level. Very, very tanky. Oof. Okay, so we get our enchantment. Let's see what we get. Cannot be frozen, slowed, or destroyed. Okay. I think that's got to be this one. Well, no, that's already like this. Can this? Yeah, that one can be. This one can be as well. I think we'll do the trebuchet. Interesting. I'm not feeling super confident about what we're currently doing. We didn't seem quite strong enough. Okay, there's that. That being said, a big Atlatl like that is really tough to beat. We're really trying to just get to 4 wins at this point. So, aquatic, slow, rightmost shield. Don't have any poison that I'm applying. Rapid thaw, happy to see that. Small and medium.
Hi, I'm Quixel, Master Merchant or something.
No.
Go buy something huge and then sell it to me.
I have been making a mistake there. I probably should have purchased some of those. Hulking Experiment does have something oriented toward us. Parting Shot could give us an upgrade on Parting Shot. Volcus Enforcer. I can't remember if it has anything particularly good. No. Frost Potion? Let's see if we can get the Frost Potion.
And submit to cryofication.
It is level 2. We are running out very quickly of the throwing knives here. But it does look like the Radiant Trebuchet was doing a fair amount of damage and triggering quite a lot.
Was that even a battle?
Unfortunate.
Skirmish.
Huh, what is the upgrade here? I guess it's port, just so that we have more shots of everything. This throwing knives does not feel very strong, though. Let's do that. That gives us one more
Now this will inspire the crew.
temporary boost. Temporary boost is pretty good. I think we'll take that again. Don't need that. Take a look here. Interesting. Wow, that could actually be it. I think that's better than Trebuchet. Yeah. Alright. 145. It'll naturally gain crit. Oh, am I crazy?
I've got 4 legs because I carry the company.
Ooh, the keener the blade.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Not what I'd call
I cannot afford you, sir. I'm sorry. Alright, we've got a dually that is in the same position as we are. I think if this is actually pretty good for me because in general this build is going to be pretty weak. I think as long as he's doing poison, I have a pretty good shot here. And he has no start of turn hastes. Okay, nice. Alright, that worked out pretty good. 25 crit chance by the end. Would be nice to get that crit up a little bit more. Alright, so we've managed to get to 1 win. Can we do better? Another nesting doll. Interesting. Docklines will probably go. Trebuchet may go. It's hard to beat free health. Get a friend. Get large items. The large item could be a ballista. It is a ballista. Alright. I'm sorry, Radiant. Nice. Very interesting. Okay. I'm not explaining myself very well, am I? I've become part of the machine. One thing is, Boss Harlow here has a skill that will slow anything that is not a weapon when it's used. At first I thought that would be pretty good because it would just be energy potion after it triggered. But that would also slow our port. The thing is that might actually be on average better for us than otherwise. The other thought is maybe it's better to race to get higher level. And I need money. Yep. Let's do this. That being said, I may end up losing in one of the fights that's coming up. I don't think that's the biggest deal for me. Alright, by the time it's done, that is 47 multicast.
See that blank?
So you're saying there's a chance. 2 scrap. Sharpening stone it is. I'm a simple guy. Alright. I think we just want skills here, undeniably. More crit. Parting shot. Or iron sharpens iron diamond. I think I do actually want parting shot level 2 here. Because that's going to scale this guy's crit chance up that much faster. So, let me just pull out for just a second and say, it's been a lot of work to get to this current position. Luckily, we're in a position where we have pivoted a couple times, and now we're in a spot where we can win quite a bit of fights. But we are using a huge amount of ammo by the time this ballista fires. The biggest concern we have is dying before we get it off. So now, in my mind, the transition is to surviving. If we can survive, we are going to win a lot of fights.
Remember, diamonds come in small boxes.
Happy to buy relatively cheap small items at this point of the game. There's a lot of very expensive items. So going to small Andy here is a good way to get items to scale iron sharpens iron. We're getting about 100 damage from that. And this might be the last fight, but let's give it a shot. We're a little low on haste. Never mind. We have energy potion.
I'm a bit of a
The skills that we have don't give us much haste. That's what I meant to say. Okay, he's got quite a bit of freeze. It's going to be pretty tough. The main thing is if we can get this off before it gets frozen big time, then I think we've got a chance here. All right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're just not quite fast enough. And he was a little too fast. Those 2 freezes kind of stopped us. So all that being said, I think this was... We got to a position where it was possible for us to win. Maybe with a little bit of better luck. And, you know, there was some maybe decision making that I could have made better. I know I wasn't scaling this as judiciously as I could have. And maybe if I had been a little tankier by this point in the game, our build was sort of getting legs right now. It's tough against dualies like that. I think we needed a little bit better RNG to make it through a couple more days so that we could keep scaling up this ballista to where it was really, really strong. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. That being said, hopefully this was at least somewhat valuable to you, struggling through these low and poor runs, and what hard decisions you might have to make to get to 4 wins. Hopefully in my next one, I will show you a bit more of a successful build. That being said, I'm happy with 4 wins on this, considering it was a rather tough game with a tough start that did not coalesce into any clear path without quite a bit of wiggling around. So I don't lose anything here. In my mind, as long as I get to 4 wins, I think that was a successful run. 7 wins would be ideal, and 10 wins happens when it happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know if there was anything about the way that I did this that could be better or more helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.